touch is going up. And part of the problem is, the government used to be by the people, for the people. Right now, the government is for the rich people. And we're the ones contributing all of our little tax monies. And our government, as you know, has wasted our money away. They've robbed, you say it, they've robbed it. So what are we going to do? I think we need to stop spending billions of dollars on foreign countries, or paying somebody $1 million for the second in command of Al Qaeda. I want our troops to come closer to our shores to protect us, because I don't think we're protected. And let me tell you this. Last Saturday, my wife and I, who retired recently after 36 years as a teacher, we stood in line with the American flag next to the Patriotic Guard in Holton, Kansas, to honor Cody Baker. Cody was the best friend of our nephew. I was hoping a year would pass and we'd have something good happening. Some see the glass is half empty, some see it as half full, I see it as disappearing. And I am very worried about a young person. As a younger person, I'm more worried about us as a country than my Social Security $1,200 that I may or may not get. We're in trouble. We're in so much trouble. I know it, and you know it, and we have got to do something, and I'm not trying to be radical.
I agree.
We're in so much trouble. Our very existence. I don't care what plan you use. And if nothing is really changed in a year from when I talk to your office, my price of coffee's gone up, milk has gone up. If nothing has changed in a year, multiply that times 10 years. Where are we going to be 10 years down the road?
That's tied to the cost of energy.
We're only calling you based on cheap energy.
We got to get a handle on this, Lynn.
He's really laid out, I think, a lot of our frustration. And who is your nephew that was Cody's friend?
Keith Robertson,
I was at that.
19 years old.
It was heart-wrenching service for a young man who gave it all for our nation. And so many of us are asking about the priorities of our.
Well, not only that, but we go to foreign countries and drop $1 million bombs and stuff, and then we involve service people who used to be the National Guard protecting our state, and they get hurt and wounded. And then we've got a whole pool of people that our government has to take care of when they shouldn't maybe have been there in the first place. I think we need to take care of America, but I think we're spending way too much money. Why don't we scale back? If it costs me all this money for my goods and services, why can't we automatically deduct all these monies to all these other countries? We're out of control.
We are out of control, and I can tell you that foreign aid has been cut back in our budget.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't help a whole lot because it's like less than 2%
Of the
foreign aid is less than 2%. Oh, there's a huge.
But we already got the cost of services.
Just a minute.
Services isn't good.
Right.
Your plan is going to fail if we don't have some way of saying, we can't pay health insurance. It's gotten so wide. Blue Cross and Blue Shield used to be the primary one, and they were good because I had that 31 years ago or more. And now they get out of the business, and these little other companies come in. They charge you lots of money, don't give you any goods, hardly services. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do. I mean,
It's watered down.
It's not by accident that our.
Look at the county, look at the Jefferson County 12% increase, and it's not even a major insurance company for the county employees.
The reason cost and services have gone up is because all of their costs have gone up, the people providing it, the cost of energy, the cost of medical care, their income tax, the cost that they pay for the regulators. I think all of these reforms that must happen, and there's an urgency because every day it doesn't happen, we get further and further behind. It's not like these small businesses that are charging higher prices are making the difference.
Oh, and
it is
we
because
know
their
that.
cost. Yeah, it is their
know
cost.
that.
And so, you've just made the best case of anyone. For a while, we need tax reform, the energy bill, healthcare reform done right that addresses the issue at hand, and that is the rising costs of healthcare. So, you know, it's my view that we just need to get it done. We've talked about it enough. We just need to get the American people some relief. So don't give up on us, young. I know we need to go, but we.
You mentioned the balanced budget amendment, and I think our short-term memory sometimes doesn't serve us well, because we had a balanced budget not that long ago. Bush, when he entered office, he inherited $127 billion surplus. And there were projections that the entire national debt, given continuation of those policies as well as government rules and regulations, the entire national debt could have then been paid down by the year 2010. Instead, we got those tax cuts, 2 of them, plus the 2 wars, plus Medicare Part D, and a host of other relaxation rules and regulations, particularly banking. Glass-Steagall certainly figures in prominently on that. And the national debt doubled under Bush's watch. Now, we've got a budget problem, but I don't think any rational person would agree that you can only solve the budget problem by taking away expenses. You've got to raise revenues at the same time. If you were to just let those tax cuts expire and then perhaps add in a Wall Street transaction tax of like 0.3%, well, then you're going to go, and there are certainly numerous economists who project that you're going to start closing that budget gap significantly over time.
I don't necessarily disagree that we need to close the budget gap. I think we need to do that in short order, but I do believe that it is optimal to keep our tax revenue.
Well, I see that little green part right there, which I believe is right at the year 2000. It should be, and that's our surplus. We could have continued on that level.
No, because people
Have you
don't
forgotten?
have high tax adjustment
2001.
activities. Because people that can afford to do tax planning, they have the attorneys figure out ways around it. So our goal is just to keep the revenues where they are, get the expenditures, because this is a rising number. GDP is going up, you know, every day. So when you use GDP as the base, I think most economists will agree, regardless of their political persuasion, that we don't want to get above 20% on either the spending or the tax revenues. And so that is why we believe we need fundamental tax reform to keep the revenues where they are and get the spending in check. You know, every family in America has to balance their budget. Every
Yeah,
small
but when they
business
run
in
into
America
problem,
does.
they go out and they have someone else get another job, or they work overtime. Personally, I think our greatest cancer, in my opinion, was President Eisenhower. He was really a phenomenal person.
I won't disagree.
And also during his reign, taxes from 1947 through 1977, taxation was at a range from between 91% to 70%, the top tax rate.
What percentage of GDP?
During that time, our annual economic growth in the nation was 3.7%. Since that time to the start of the recession in 2009, our tax rate has been dropped significantly, and our annual rate of economic growth has also likewise gone down. I don't think you can really validly make an argument that higher taxes are going to stifle growth. And if all these tax revenue, if all these rich people, you know, are job producers, they're sitting on trillions of dollars of wealth, as are the banks right now. If that were the answer, why are we awash in just a flood of jobs? They've got the money, they're holding it, they're not doing anything with it.
You've said, just triple you've said a lot of things, and, you know, I can tell you and I are just gonna disagree on the taxes. The Eisenhower years taxes were right at the average, where I suggest below the 20%. And what we need to do is, as a tax preparer, as a tax planner for a couple decades before I got involved, I will tell you, the wealthy find ways around paying the tax. So if you raise taxes, they are going to find a way around it. That's why the reforms that we're talking about, I believe, are the best way to grow this economy and get jobs back in the United States.
Okay, we're going to do one more question. If you have any questions afterwards, we'll be here for just a quick moment. We do have another meeting we have to get to. So.
I don't have a question. It seems to me that over the long haul, we're forgetting the real problem. We're unemployed. Many of us are.
Right.
And that's the real problem. We've got to get jobs in this damn country. We can't outwork the Chinese. There are too damn many of them. The only way we can do it is do 20 times as much good as they do every one of them. And we've got to be productive. We've got to figure out how to do it. The guy was bitching about the oil. We've got to have oil until we figure out some other way to get energy. Now, there's ways to do it. I know that, but we've got to figure it out. And we got to quit worrying about the balanced budget. That's an important thing. But we've got to get back to work. And don't you ever forget that, or I'll vote against you.
I think you said that well. Jobs, getting people back to work has to be our #1 priority, because then everybody will be back stimulating the economy with their tax dollars. And so, I go back to kind of our priorities with the taxation, regulation, litigation, the job barriers. If we don't just tackle those head on, we're never going to get people back to work. So we're going to call on the Senate to take up the tax reform bills, to take up the Ratings Act, to take up the tort reform bill. We're going to ask the President to forward 3 free trade agreements, which would do great things for our economy, for the ag producers, for the aircraft industry in this state. There are some really good things we could do now, today, and they should have been done earlier this year, but we're going to work really hard in our office to make sure that happens. And I do apologize, we have another engagement, but what I will ask you to do is, if we didn't get to your comment or questions, will you come find Pat? Will you wait your hand? Pat or Bill, he was the other one here, or myself, and we're going to get your name, your number. We're going to call you, and we'll address your question or concern or whatever you need. And of course, if you don't want to wait around for us here, you don't have to wait for me to come to town to get a question answered. Just call our office or shoot us an email, write us a letter. We're there to help, so please use us. I do thank you for coming out.
Thank you very much.
I want to know what you had to do. I want to know what you had to
When you put screwball, if you want to have a screwball tax increase for vote, you always put it on state elections too. You never put it on state elections.
Medicare and all that. Yeah, they're all
Now, do you know any more than you came in?
Let me ask you this.